Welcome back, and yes, you are still watching Unleashing Your Potential. We are talking about African here. Are you African enough? And I would like you to help me here. There might be, okay, maybe your age, your generation, you know what it means to be an African. You've seen Africa rising or falling from back in the days. But there's youngsters out there who don't know any clue, don't have any clue of what does Africa actually looks like, or what it means actually to be an African. So what does it mean to be an African?
Yeah, I think maybe before we really get to answer that question, I think there's this, time is not even enough. I wish we could just have an entire session, like sessions on topics like this, yes. He talked about the issue of values, and he also talked about guns must stop on the continent, something to that effect. Maybe let me just also add to that. Our value system has been corroded and even eroded, over time. We as a people have been a communal people. We are a communal people.
Yeah.
We believe I am because you are.
Yeah.
And if we are going to create any principles that we espouse as a people, they must be natural to us, like I said earlier on. It must be because it must be in alignment with who we are naturally. An African will have no problems until now to actually host a total stranger who is African, who comes to town and says, I'm from such and such a place, and I don't know where to sleep for today, but this is my situation. We don't have a problem with that. And I'm not saying let us just allow criminals and stuff, because all of these things we've been fed by an individualistic attitude or principles that we have learned from the West. Those guys are very individualistic. That's why what is mine, and it's not shared.
Yeah.
And that's why we see it playing out among our leaders. What is theirs is theirs.
Sure.
And so they can't share with everybody else at the bottom. Leadership must trickle down. Wealth must trickle down. It must be shared among the people of the country. And the other thing that he talked about was the issue of silencing guns by 2021. Was it 2022?
And then they used COVID as an excuse. They had a huge,
so they can't silence guns because of COVID.
They had a beautiful.
If you are able actually to shut down an entire country, you can silence guns.
Yeah.
No, really. Yeah. If you are able to shut down countries across the whole globe shuts down.
Yeah.
The whole world shuts down.
And you still can't silence
and you can't silence guns. That is part of the business. Right now, as we are talking, people are dying and being butchered in the Cameroons. That I'm very passionate about that. It's very painful to even think that at this time in life, people are being killed in Cameroon. Women are running around. They are using backs of trees for their menstrual periods because they don't have sanitation. They're in the bush running away from what we call Francophone Cameroon. Let me just give you a bit of background on that, actually. Cameroon, there are two countries there. One is the Francophone Cameroon that was colonized by the French. The other one is towards the south. It was colonized by the British. It is called Anglophone Cameroon. And in 1960, Francophone Cameroon got independent from the French. In 1961, these are two different countries.
Yeah.
But we don't even know about Ambazonia. We know nothing about that country that is still struggling right now. The president, what's his name? The president of Anglophone Cameroon, he is still in prison right now. Seg4 Ayoktabe, I think I'm pronouncing it right. He is in prison right now, held in prison by what's his name, the dictator in Francophone Cameroon. Guns are not being silenced. And every country on this continent, including Francophone Cameroon, where France has had a hand, where France colonized, there's bloodshed up to today. There's destabilization. These other countries are like ticks. They live off our blood. They live off our lives. And we need to get up and wake up. Right now, Russia is fighting for their existence. Ukraine is fighting for their existence. Israel is fighting for their existence. Everyone is fighting for their existence, except our leaders on this continent, who want to behave like they are so naive or oblivious to what is going on this continent.
They probably are naive.
They are?
They probably are naive. Because there's a short tale that I'll tell you. It's very famous. When tourists came along, they found young stars playing under a tree. And they called one boy. And they gave him a sweet. He refused it.
Okay.
And they say, why? He says, I'm playing with my friends. So I can't be the only one who's having sweets. So the tourists had to give him the sweets so that he could share with his other people. That is one of the values that we've lost. Where I come from, just up the road, the 519C, my grandfather would always insist that you can never go to sleep amapoto uwawashile anganakudla ahleli estofini, because somebody might walk in here in the middle of the night, having traveled a long distance, alambile, and that person must get food.
Must eat,
That's what makes us.
Sure.
When I see the neighbor's child in need, I don't even have to ask for permission. I have to make that sacrifice when I'm able to for that neighbor. When I grew up, there was no thingy of my keys are with my parents. The key stayed next door.
Sure.
When I went to collect it, the first thing before I could get the key would be a slice of bread and a cup of tea before I could go take the key and go to my parents' house. Those are the values. That together, that communalism, not communism. And we have done nothing. We have done nothing to reverse a bit, to say, let us stop the train. Let us look at the luggage that is in the train. Is it poisonous to us? That is what that's what needs to happen. The very fact that right now Mozambique is becoming unstable. A lot of good gas has been discovered there. In Namibia, a lot of crude oil has been discovered there. Do you think with those countries will be at peace? Look at Mozambique. Will they be at peace? And do you know who's being used to fight? It's us to kill each other, and somebody else comes and takes over.
It's the same old thing. The same
old story.
And it's like we don't learn from that.
And they go and pose for Twitter with leaders of Europe, and then we are supposed to take them seriously.
It's sad. This is hectic.
It's preposterous, actually. That's the word.
It's preposterous. We are sick. We are sick to the core as a people to be continuously led down the dangerous, poisonous garden path. It is time now that we are going to have young people who are going to look around them and say, what can be done? How can I do it? Engage with the elders who have knowledge, not people who can recite some thick political book, who can tell us about Che Guevara. Thank you for what they did. But we need now youngsters starting from school, starting from homes. Do you know as a Khumalo, who am I as a Khumalo?
Sure.
What
Do
makes
you know
me a
who
Khumalo?
you are? We are still talking about African leadership, right? And we will hear more from them after the break.